What's going on, guys? Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be rebuilding some single piston calipers off of a '07 Acura TL Type S. I'm also going to be making a video on rebuilding the front Brembos as well, but right now we're just going to be taking care of the rear. A lot of these are going to be the same throughout a lot of cars, so the rebuild process will be the same. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. All right, guys, so the first thing that we're going to start doing here is, as you can tell, there's going to be two bushings, one here, one here. I got a little excited before the video started, and I kind of already took those off. Anyway, we're just going to slide these brackets off of the caliper themselves. We're going to go ahead and remove these caliper pins right here. In my case, it's 212s, which I've already loosened. We do have new ones of these. You can keep them and clean them up and re-grease them, and they'll be fine. But they're actually really cheap, and they come with the kit. So we'll go ahead and toss those to the side. And also, guys, I want to go ahead and show you right there where the caliper pins went. This hole and this hole. You'll want to be sure that you guys really get this cleaned out. All that old grease and nasty stuff, you probably can't really see in there. But there is a bunch of nasty stuff in there. So you guys do want to get that all cleaned up and get that out of there, so that whenever we use the new grease, it's not contaminated by old, nasty, rusty stuff. Also, guys, I have these calipers in a bin because the very first part of this job, well, really the whole job, but the first part of the job especially, can tend to be a little messy, and you'll see here why. Get your air compressor. I just have a long nozzle on mine. I didn't feel like grabbing the other one. I'll leave the bolt that holds the brake line hose to the caliper. There's a hole there. So basically what you want to do is you want to apply air pressure. You can also do it through the bleeder valve. If you loosen this valve, you can apply air here, but I'm just going to do it this way because this is the way the fluid flows. You will literally watch the piston fly out just like that. If you're not going to be replacing your pistons, if you're not going to be replacing these guys, definitely put you a piece of like a towel or a paper towel or something here soft. That way when you shoot this guy out, he doesn't get damaged. And these are actually, and I haven't cleaned them up or nothing, obviously. I just got them out, but they do not look bad. Just dirty. Sometimes these guys can get stuck, and you want to use an O-ring tool just like we do on the seal itself. But a lot of times I can just kind of get in here right behind it, place your thumb here and push in just like that, and it'll pop it right out. There it is. The dust seal sat right in that open groove right there at the tip of my finger. The seal is right under that. You can see it right there. Out just like that. And there she is. Toss that to the side. Or in the trash, I mean. Alright, guys, I mean, that's really it. Now the caliper itself is completely disassembled. For the cleaning up part of this, I just like to use a wire brush on a drill. I mean, that is the easiest way that I've found to prep anything. Let's go ahead and remove these guys. Brake pad clips, old rusty, dusty trash. You see this here? This nasty, rusty, dirty grime is in there. We want to make sure that we get all this clean. after some serious wire brushing, we've got these things cleaned up pretty good. Got them taped up. So with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and throw some paint on these things. All right, guys, got these all primered up. Ready for our top coat. For anybody interested, this is VHT flame-proof primer and the VHT caliper paint. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, guys, we got the calipers all painted up, tapes pulled off. About ready to throw these guys in the oven per the VHT instructions. It says to throw them in the oven at 200 degrees for an hour. And that's to cure the paint to make it chemical resistant so that the brake fluid, whenever it touches it, it's not just gonna peel and wrinkle the paint right off of the caliper, since we do still have to reassemble these with the seals and pistons and whatnot. All right, guys, got these things fresh out of the oven and they're cooled down, ready for reassembly. And before somebody says something, I know I left the bleeders on. We have new ones right there. So we got new bleeders, brake pad kit, grease, don't forget your grease. Got the slide pin boots, the things that I rushed and took off before the video. Brake caliper pistons, slide pins and bolts, and seal kit. And guys, a lot of these seal kits are universal. So they will come with some extra seals. Like we only need the dust boot cover and this seal right here on top, and the little bleeder cap cover. So we'll have some extra seals. So if you guys do have extra seals, don't worry too much about that. And then you will also need some brake fluid. You don't have to have the Honda, but you know, it is nice. All right, guys. So the first thing we want to do is we want to get our seal kit here. 3 things from this whole kit: piston seal, the dust boot seal, and the little cap for the bleeder. All right, guys, so the first thing we want to do is we want to get our piston seal. Go ahead and dunk this guy in some brake fluid and go ahead and just get that all around there. And then since we got fresh paint, I'm gonna drop my hands off really fast. So basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this seal after it's lubed up. We're gonna get it in that bottom groove there, just like so, and hold it one way in. We're just gonna be really easy with this guy to not roll the seal. This is the easiest part of this. Okay, so now we want to take just a little bit more brake fluid, kind of go around in here, make sure that seal and the piston walls and everything are lubed up good. Especially the face of this. This is right here. This is the hardest part of the whole process. So we'll go ahead and grab our new piston here. Brand new piston. Looking very clean. Next step, we want to take our dust boot, this guy. We want to lube him up a little bit. On both sides here, we want to lube him up on this side just a little bit. And this side. And this lip, this outer lip, for sure. This is what we're going to be fighting to get in there. All right, guys, so the first thing we want to do is we want to take this seal and we want to put this piston on solid ground. We want to go ahead and get this guy worked on here. We're going to take a little brake fluid, of course. We're going to lube this guy up all the way around, especially that flange right here, because that's what's going to be starting us into our bore. All right, so then what we're going to do is we're going to slide this dust boot down out of place, just like so. We're actually going to slide it almost all the way off. Something like that. That way, when we set this guy in here, we can get our screwdriver and we can get this lip into where it's supposed to go. That flange right there, that lip is supposed to set right in there. So we're gonna have to get this guy started in there before we get our piston started into the bore. Or at least that makes it easier for me. Once you guys have it in a sturdy spot, we're gonna go ahead and just ever so carefully, without getting our brake fluid everywhere. And now we're gonna come in with a screwdriver, start this right under the piston. And honestly, it helps if you pick up on the piston just a little bit as you're trying to get the lip in there, and then press down to hold the lip in its spot. All right, guys, so right there, I believe we have it, the dust boot anyway, seated all the way. So now we're going to want to find where this thing seems centered the most. Shove her in there. And so now, another thing I like to do, see how that looks just a little weird right there? So right now we're gonna see and make sure that we have the dust boot seated all the way. So what I do is I take the bleeder valve or the bolt, the banjo bolt off the back. Yes, and see now how everything looks very symmetrical. So that's it for the hard part, guys. So now basically all we got to do is we're going to go ahead and take this the brake bleeder that I painted off. Set this off to the side and grab our bracket. For this, I'm just using some super white lithium grease. Basically, you want to put this on the side of the slide pin. I'll put a drop on the inside as well, but it's on the side of the cylinder. It's not on the bottom. Guys, whatever you do, do not put this tip in here and just squeeze it. With whatever grease you're using, do not just pack that full. Don't even put any on the end here, because whatever you put in there, if it's not on the side or it doesn't make its way to the side of the pin, it's going to bottom the pin out. So therefore, the pin is not going to go all the way in the caliper. So therefore, you're going to have uneven brake wear, all due to, being wrongly lubricated. that should be it for these calipers. These guys are fully assembled and ready to be placed back on the car. But all right, guys, that's it for this video. If you guys did find this helpful at all, then please leave a like, comment, subscribe, share this with your friends, and definitely stick around because we got a lot more stuff coming.